I just took a shit, and it was black. That's not good, right? It looked like a shit someone would take after eating nothing but black Crayola crayons for a week. I'd go look it up on like WebMD or something, but I'd probably end up diagnosing myself with an aneurysm. So yeah, I'm probably gonna die pretty soon, but before I do, we should talk about something that me and my friend Galen, who, by the way, is pure fucking evil. Don't stare into his eyes for too long. If you have a soul, you don't anymore, because those eyes just fucking stole it. Yeah, anyway, we were talking about Mitt Romney and how he made this very minor gaffe not too long ago where he said something about self-deportation of illegal immigrants. And what self-deportation is it's this idea that if you make shit just so fucking awful for immigrants, they'll just leave of their own accord. And this was mocked because I think it originally appeared in like an Onion article or something, and Newt Gingrich was making fun of it, and Santorum was making fun of it. But the more me and Galen thought about it, the more we realized that that's kind of just how the government does things now. They don't outright ban stuff. They just make it to where no one would want to do the things that they want to do. For instance, in the fine state of Virginia, they recently passed a law that says that if a woman wants to get an abortion, she must first have an ultrasound. And since the vast majority of abortions occur within the first 12 weeks of pregnancy, she would have to have a transvaginal procedure. What does that mean? I didn't know either. It means that they actually have to stick something up inside her. This is a totally unnecessary procedure. In no way is this necessary to get the abortion, mind you. This is something that the state is mandating that you do beforehand that has nothing to do with the actual procedure. It's just to make it invasive and inconvenient for the woman so that she chooses not to get an abortion. It's like saying, hey man, it's perfectly legal to drink Coke Zero, but you have to recite the alphabet backwards in 13 seconds before you're allowed to open the bottle. Well, who the fuck's gonna drink Coke Zero if that's the fucking requirement? And who is going to exercise their right to an abortion if you basically have to let the state rape you first? No one. Well, some people, but certainly a lot of people that would have normally gotten an abortion, which is a totally legal procedure, are now not gonna do it, at least not in the state of fucking Virginia. That's how these fascist fucks in our government operate now. If they can't ban something outright, they just make it so damnably inconvenient, so impossible to get through the red tape, that you're gonna just say, fuck it, I don't even want it anymore. Like in Tennessee, they're trying to pass this new law. I've actually talked about it before, but it's gotten a little bit further along the legal line since I last talked about it. You guys may remember this. Tennessee schools are basically trying to excise all mention of homosexuality from the classroom. The teacher is not allowed to talk about homosexuality at all. They're not even allowed to acknowledge the existence of homosexuality. I guess the idea here is that kids are really fucking stupid. Like, they're just incredibly dumb fucks who cannot figure this out on their own. Like if you're a gay kid and you're in class and you like look at a boy and you're like, yeah, I really want to have sex with him. You're not gonna know what that feeling is unless the teacher codifies it by saying, oh yes, there's such a thing as homosexuality. What this is doing is it's basically yet another piece of legislation that says, you know, we don't like these fucking faggots. We hate them. We wish we could just ban them outright, but we can't. So instead, what we'll do is we'll just create an environment that's so hostile towards homosexuality that they're not going to even want to be out there. You know, even if you are gay, you're going to hide it. You're going to be ashamed. You're just going to be like, I'm not gay. And what about all these internet censorship bills? Like PIPA and SOPA and ACTA. Why do they all end with Is that just some way to make them sound cute to us? Like, oh, it's PIPA. That sounds like, you know, a little animated sidekick in a Disney movie. Pippa, the talking penguin. Remember, folks, that these conservatives do not like pornography. Rick Santorum, the most... I need an adjective that I could use against that fuck. I can't call him shitty, I can't call him a piece of shit, I can't really call him anything because he's just so awful that there's nothing that fits, there's nothing awful enough. But that awful, 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 awful X-37 man wants to ban pornography, and he could be your next president. He probably won't be, but he could be. And if you're in another country and you're laughing at how stupid we are for even considering electing a fuck like that, just remember Bush. That's right. Who we elect is going to affect you too. So I wouldn't be laughing. I'd be cringing. I'd be cowering in a fucking corner. So remember, conservatives hate porn. And liberals, or what passes for liberal in America, the Democrat Party, they're in the pocket of the fucking entertainment industry. So both political parties have an agenda here when it comes to controlling the internet. The Republicans want to scrub it and make it clean and pure and good and like a family thing. And the Democrats, they just don't want you pirating movies and software and all that shit. You know, what both parties want is they want the internet to be controlled by corporations and regulated by the FCC the same way that radio and television are. And if they do that, the internet will become just as shitty as radio and television are in this fucking country. And the only way it'll be any good at all is if you pay out the fucking ass for it, like we have to do with like Showtime or HBO, or you have to do with XM radio. And that's why they try to do shit like SOPA and PIPA and ACTA and whatever other fucking internet killing bills they're gonna try to pass this year and every year for the rest of fucking time until they finally get one through. Probably on the auspices of protecting children from pornographers. They're gonna say, oh, you don't want to pass this bill that invades your privacy? You must be a pedophile. You must be a child pornographer. You must be evil. And then everyone's going to go, whoa, never mind. Spy on me all you want. And the next thing you know, the internet is fucking unusable because you pass some shitty law and now the internet's a piece of shit and the only thing you can use it for anymore is to do what the corporations want you to do. To buy their corporate content, to consume their corporate message, and the wider message, the explosion of individuality and creativity that the internet has been until this point, that shit's gone. That shit's rendered obsolete because it's no longer an enjoyable experience. It's been rendered horrid and awful by some terrible fucking piece of legislation written by people who are too old to even understand what the fucking internet is. You know, we talk about how horrible fucking prohibition was in the 1920s and all the horrible things it led to. But you know, if they tried to do prohibition today, they'd succeed. They'd do it right. You can drink all you want. The only thing is that all alcohol has to be stored in the rotten carcasses of dead rats, and you have to suck the booze out of the dead rat's asshole. But that's all. If you're willing to comply with that simple set of guidelines, then you can drink all the fuck you want. What's that? You don't want to drink booze out of a rat's asshole? Okay. Well, all you have to do then is get a license to store your liquor in other containers. It's really easy. You just have to fill out this mountain of requisition forms and give us $5,000 annually. And then you can drink it out of whatever the fuck you want. Citizens of America, and in fact, citizens of the world, tell your governments to stop with these soft bans. If we won the right to do something, if we got something legalized or something is already legal, don't then put up a bunch of roadblocks to make it really difficult for us to exercise the freedoms that we fought for. It's bullshit. And hey, we don't blame you. It worked on us for a while, but now we're opening our eyes real wide, and we're seeing just what the fuck it is that you're doing, and you better stop it, or else. I'm the Amazing Atheist. Peace the fuck